Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Vanessa, and for today's video I will be making part one of the information, my story of my infertility journey. I was not nervous until I sat down to film this. Obviously, if you have went through this, through infertility, or if you are going through it, you know how lonely and isolating it feels. And I'm a beyond private person. I just always have been. I don't know if a little bit of it is by choice, but I also grew up as an only child. I always kept to myself. I had a very, very small group of friends, and even in that group of friends, I kept a lot to myself. That's a whole other story in and of itself, with a bunch of background, but that's just basically where it stems from. And the other thing is that while a lot of women and families do go through infertility, it feels like nobody else goes through it. And I don't know how else to explain that unless you're also going through it. Then I feel like you know what I'm talking about. There's one other woman that I know of. I don't know her personally. I have friends and family who know her. And I'm sorry for wiping my nose. Every time I do my makeup, my nose starts to run. But anyway, I know this girl through friends and family. We don't know each other personally, but we know of each other. And that's the only other person who I know who is struggling with infertility. And her story is 1000% different from mine also. And so even if I knew personally anybody else who is struggling with infertility, it still wouldn't be the same. So I did touch on this a little bit in my introduction or welcome to my channel video, just a little bit. So I think this part I am gonna go into my background, and then just right up until right now. There's not a lot of information. You'll figure that out, and then I'll tell you what the next steps are, and then I will make videos on that. So, as I've said in my introduction video, I've known that I have wanted kids since I was a wee little girl. I am an only child. My family is very close. Especially my mom's side. My grandma had 5 children, and all but one live in the same city. One lives across the ocean in Europe. But yeah, so I have a decently sized family. I was an oopsie baby, I'm pretty sure. And my mom was a single parent. She had me, I believe she was around 20 years old, maybe a little younger. I'm 27. Anyway, that doesn't matter. She was younger. And then I guess I'm not gonna lie, my mom and I aren't in that relationship where you can talk about anything and everything, anything kind of on a deeper scale, we just don't talk about, which is okay. That's our relationship. Some relationships are different, that's just ours. So I don't know a lot about her, information, but she had me. Every single one of my other aunts and uncles all have 2 or 3 kids. Plus. No, 2 or 3. 2 to 3 kids is what they have. So, as far as I know, there's no fertility issues in my family. Um, my biological father's side, I do not know. He was not in my life. I've never met him. I don't ask questions about him. I don't really care. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But I mean, when I look it up for it, it doesn't really matter. Like it's not something that like runs in the family. Um, but anyway, my first one of my first cousins is 9 years younger than me. And so I was pretty old when they were born, so I helped take care of them. I was around them a lot. I played with them. I watched them grow up. Like, I remember walking her to kindergarten on her first day. Um, so I was always very attached to kids. I love kids. I always have loved kids. So I was ready. If you would have asked me any time before the last, I would say, mm, how long? How long would I say? Like 4 years ago plus, if you would have asked me, you know, who's gonna have kids, 100% it was gonna be me. I was gonna be the first. I was gonna have 5 kids by now. Like, me. Like, 100% ready. Um, Obviously, you know, I got married. I'm 27 years old now. 3.5 years married with my husband. We got married, and my husband wasn't necessarily ready. I think he wanted to spend some time married, it was okay with me. I adore him. We both talked about it. We both knew we wanted kids. He just wasn't ready yet. I think he just wanted to enjoy some marriage time. And then it hit him pretty quickly that he wanted to have kids. And we talked about it and we started trying. And then like 4 months into it, nothing was happening. And I was like, well, let me make an appointment with an OB. I had my regular doctor and I would go in for checkups here and there. I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't go regularly, but I did go in for checkups. But I was like, let me make an appointment with an OB just to do like a family planning thing, whatever. And I made an appointment and my husband came with me. I had to get a pap smear done and we went over some questions, and she was like, all right, well, since you guys just started, trying, you're really young, so we're not going to do anything. Just keep trying for a year, and if nothing happens in a year, come on back. And my husband and I were both really kind of stunned. But we were also like, we didn't know what to do. You go to see a doctor, they're the professional. They went to school for this. Like, they know what they're doing, you would think, right? So we were just kind of like, yeah, okay. Even though we were both, like, in our gut, we were like, nothing? Like, nothing. We're not gonna write, like, we asked for tests, we asked for everything, and she just kind of dismissed us. And we left it there. I wish we didn't. I wish we listened to our gut, and I wish we were more persistent. But we didn't. We took our butts home, and we kept trying, and nothing was happening. So we went back after a year. This would be like November 2019. I got some tests done and found out that I was low on vitamin D, but everything else was okay. And I was like, that's it? I'm low on vitamin D. Like, that's the test you're gonna run. But I didn't say anything because she's a doctor. So I was like, okay. So I started taking vitamins, and she saw me a few weeks later to get the same test done to see how my vitamin D was. It was still pretty low. And they said, just keep taking them. So I was like, okay, sure. And then the next step was, they were going to see, like, if I ovulated by myself, and then they did a ultrasound just to check out down there. Everything looked okay. I didn't get any information of like how it looked, what's normal, etc., etc., etc. But they did tell me that my uterine lining was a little bit thin. So you need to have, your uterine lining needs to be so many millimeters, I think is what they measure it in, for the egg to be able to attach properly and stay attached. But they didn't tell me or give me any information or medicine on how to thicken it. So, and that's all I know. And then we continued, they put me on Clomid. And I took Clomid for, or maybe it was October that we did. So October, November, I took Clomid, nothing happened. I did my research on Clomid, and it tends to thin your uterine lining. I didn't ask this question because, again, it's a doctor. Like, I haven't had kids. I don't know anything about this. I don't know personally anybody who has had infertility issues like this, that it had to go that deep into. When I talked to my husband, I was like, I don't know why they're putting me on this. They said my uterine lining was thin, but Clomid thins your uterine lining. But I was taking it, and nothing happened for a couple months, and so they said, we're gonna track your follicles. So December and January, so December 2019, January 2020, I kept getting ultrasounds, and I was supposed to take Clomid, at the exact right moment, and that wasn't working. And then they gave me a shot to give myself to control specifically like when an egg would release, when I would ovulate, and then we were supposed to have intercourse at that time and hopefully get pregnant. That happened twice. It was not successful. And after that second time, COVID hit. And I mean, if I can be honest with you guys, I got zero information on my body or why the steps were being taken or what information the doctors saw. I got nothing. I still have no idea what is going on with my body. And then COVID hit. And I mean, I think everyone knows what's going on after this. Like, everything, not just, infertility treatments, everything that was non-emergency was halted for understandable reasons. But that was going into 2.5 years. 2.5? No, we started trying in 2018, a year and a half. Yeah, a year and a half of trying and failing and keeping track and doing all that stuff. And my husband and I were getting very tired. So we were like, okay, well, with everything going on, let's take a break. Let's not be so analytical about it. Let's keep trying, but just not, tracking everything. Just, have fun. And so that was what we did, and nothing happened. Surprise, surprise. And, yeah, everyone kept having kids. And it gets really hard if you are, going through this or anything similar to this. The hardest part, at least for me personally, I'm trying really hard to hold it together. At least for me personally, I'm never going to be upset at someone for having a child or another child or whatever. I will never be upset at them for that. I will be their biggest cheerleader. I never, ever, ever, ever for anyone would ever be like, how dare you? Or how dare you tell me? Or how dare you talk to me about your struggle? Or whatever. Like, that's not it at all. It's never going to be it. I don't think it's that way for anyone trying to conceive, but struggling with it. But it still really, really stings. And it stings a lot. And some announcements I can handle better than others in the way I react. Like, in private at home, some make me just break down for days, and some are just like, well, you know? But I think I'm handling it pretty well, given the circumstances. But anyway, that's the gist of it. Please let me know if any of you have went through that with your doctors. The story now, the OB that I had previously left the hospital that I go to a little less than a year ago. Got a letter in the mail saying that, and honestly, I was kind of relieved. Because nothing was happening. I do think one bit of information that I left out was when I was going on those ultrasounds and they were tracking when I ovulated, when a follicle was there, when an egg was released, it really seemed to me like it was kind of late in my cycle. In my online research, it needs to have like 10 to 14 days from ovulation to when your next period starts. Mine was like 7 days from ovulation to when my period started. Maybe 7 to 10 days. And I asked one of the nurses, the infertility nurses, if that had anything to do with it, because I was like, I read that this was the prime, time. Am I ovulating too late? And she was like, no, not like, I don't see that would be an issue. And I don't want to be like, you can't tell me it's not an issue, because they're the professional there. I hate stepping on someone's foot who has went to school, for years for this and practiced this. But I was like, okay, even though in my gut and soul, I'm like, I don't think that's okay. I'm such a walk all over me type of girl, and it sucks, especially when, you're going through something like this, and my husband is the same, and it sucks. But 2021 came, at the end of 2020, my husband and I had a long conversation about our lifestyles, of what we needed to change. Also, I need to put this in here that my husband did get tested himself. He's completely normal. So he's good. It's all on me. Anyway, so 2020 was coming to an end, and I had a discussion with my husband, about lifestyle, etc., and we decided that we were gonna get back into it in 2021. So I got a new doctor. This new doctor basically specializes in infertility. She does not, from what the infertility nurse told me when I called to get a new doctor, is that she does not see you after you get pregnant. She gets you pregnant. So her her patients are not as great of a scale as, another doctor. So she'll have a little bit more time, and she really specializes in it. And I had one appointment with her so far, and I had to get another pap smear done. And, she talked to us for a little bit, and she said the same thing, you guys. She said the same thing when she was looking over our papers, and she was like, I see your uterine lining is a little bit thin, but they had you on Clomid. I don't know why they would do that. And I was like, that's what I said. So when I saw her, she had ordered those same blood tests to be done just to see the update. I've been taking prenatals, I've been taking vitamin D, I've also been taking turmeric. I don't remember why, but it's really helping me. Turmeric has a lot of benefits for just like your down there bits. So that's what I've been taking, and my tests came out really good. My vitamin D levels are good. My thyroid is good. They also checked my prolactin. I don't know why, but that was good as well, which is good. And so then I just had to call them if I got my period or not. So it is February now. I had my period last week. That is a thing that has also changed, but I also made a lifestyle change. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit at the end of this video. So I did get my period this month. So the next steps is I am going to get an HSG test done. An HSG test is basically where they need to insert a liquid into your cervix to get up to your tubes. And they x-ray it. You find out then and there to see if your tubes are blocked. That's what she wants to see next. Before we go to our next steps, before she tries to put me on another medicine, you know, just figure out what she wants to do. So I'm really nervous about that. I looked up how it's done. People say it hurts. And I was told to take at least 800 milligrams of ibuprofen before. The nurse said it'll give me some cramps, but it should only last like 5 minutes. The test is really quick, up to 10 minutes, and then you're free to go. I'm really nervous though still. But yeah, that's the next step. I have that this upcoming Friday, in literally for like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then after that, on day 21, I am going to get my blood tested again for, I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember what it's for, but I'll tell you in a second. My progesterone level. I have to get a lab done for that. So that's where I am at right now. I don't even know if I can conceive. I know people who have struggled with infertility who were able to conceive, but were not able to keep the baby. I haven't even conceived yet. So at this point, I don't think either me or my husband are going to be upset if my tubes are blocked, because at that point at least we'll have an answer. Right now we have no idea. No idea what's going on. So yeah, that's where we're at. This video is pretty long already, so I'm going to try to keep the next part a little bit short. I will talk about basically my background and what I think is a little bit of an issue. So I have been pretty lazy my entire life. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I did not move a lot. I was very lucky that my metabolism was amazing. I was such a small child. I'm still small. Like, people still think I'm small. But I played as a kid, and then as I got older, I did not do any sports. I just laid around in my room a lot. I looked healthy. I did not feel healthy. I did have doctor's appointments, etc., and they would do like the bare minimum testing, and all the bare minimum testing came back normal, whatever normal is, you know? But I never felt normal. I never felt good. I was always fatigued. I was always just not okay. I did not feel okay for the longest time. And I didn't take care of myself. I ate like crap. I did not work out. I didn't, and that's my own fault. And I definitely think that has something to do with it. I'm just surprised that my body is normal in medical, terms. I also suffer from anxiety and depression, which I also mentioned in my Welcome to My Channel video. I will have a series of information on that as well. But with having that as well, it was hard for me to even get started in changing my lifestyle. Exercising more, moving my body more, eating better, etc. I've tried so many times. It's really hard changing up your lifestyle. It's really beyond hard, and it's even harder when you have that voice inside your head saying, what's the point? Why are you doing this? It's never gonna work out. But at the end of last year, as I said, I had a discussion with my husband about our lifestyle and everything. I started switching things around. I started moving my body more. I do yoga almost every single day. I have started doing exercises at home, cardio, body weight workouts, just to get started. I'm very, 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 very beginner. But I've been doing that, and just doing those little things, I cannot express how much better I feel and how much I wish that I had started this earlier. I did try going to the gym even before COVID hit. Like, we went to the gym for a good few years because we were going to do this thing called Tough Mudder, and I had to a little bit even like get my workout in just to not die while doing it. But I hated the gym. I hated the machine. If you're brand new at working out and you don't know what to do and you go to the gym, if you've ever done that, you know how intimidating it is. And I have social anxiety on top of, regular anxiety, so it was just even worse. I went because I had to, because I didn't want to hurt myself when we were doing the event. So I went, but I did not feel the results that I am feeling now. But it tied into what I'm doing now. I'm also eating a lot healthier. I am incorporating a lot of fruits and vegetables. I am trying to eat breakfast. You don't have to, but they say it's the most important meal of the day. I hate breakfast. But I try, I'm just trying to eat a well-balanced diet. I'm not restricting myself. For the last 2 or 3 days or so, I had an egg, spinach, avocado on toast for breakfast. And today I had a toaster strudel. Just whatever I feel like. I'm not restricting myself. I'm just trying to incorporate more healthy food in my diet, including food that is supposed to help with fertility, leafy greens, spinach, kale, etc., avocado. What else did they say? I have this whole list, egg, etc., etc. Just trying to incorporate more of those foods, and that's definitely helped me feel a lot better as well. I've been in therapy to help my anxiety and depression. I started in 2018, January of 2018, so this is my 3rd year. Wow, officially over 3 years that I have been in therapy, and it has helped, but I wasn't taking it 100% seriously up until this last year. And when I would go and I would talk to my therapist, and she would give me advice or a homework to do until the next session, I would maybe do it for a day and then I would brush it off, but I've really taken it seriously in the last few months and done what she said. I've started journaling a lot more. I have sessions every other week, and it's helped me to journal in between the sessions, I can go back and read through the journal and, talk about what I wrote, or just so that I'm not sitting with those anxious, bad feelings for 2 weeks. Plus, if I forget to talk about it in therapy, so I'm not sitting with it and making my inner body worse through that stress. So, this was a really long video. I'm really sorry about that. I just wanted to get all of that into the one video of the beginning. Like I said, my next steps are the HSG test, and then a couple weeks later, my progesterone lab to see how that goes. I will make videos on that with an update. I hope I'm not going to have too many parts about this. But if you, well, I'm probably going to anyway, just to add on to this series, do a video about like what foods I eat to help my fertility, exercises I do, just like an everyday thing, just how I try and stay healthy. So I hope this was informative. I hope if you are going through this, or you are just beginning to attempt to conceive, this gave you some information. I hope it helped anyone who is going through this. There's not even a handful of people in my like I said, I'm a very, very private person. There's not even a handful of people who know that my husband and I are going through this. I don't like being talked about in a good or a bad sense. I don't talk about other people. Like, I don't bring that conversation up about other people when I am with someone. I think there's a lot better things that could be talked about than other people. So I just don't tell a lot of people about my personal life. I don't need everyone in there, So there's a very small, less than a handful of people who know that I'm going through this, and even a smaller amount of people who know the details. So it's a big deal for me to be putting this out there online, but I found a lot of comfort in the online community and just finding people who are going through the same thing as I am, because like I said, I don't know a lot of people who are, and it's just comforting to know that you're not alone. So if anyone finds this, if this helps anybody, that's why I'm putting it out there. Before I make this even too long, thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video if you would like to see more, and make sure to subscribe so that you're notified when I do upload more videos. If you have any questions or suggestions of things that you would want to see, please feel free to leave that in the comments, and I will see you guys very soon in a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.